Very good to go.
All right. Welcome. The recap, week 3, look ahead to week 4, Monday Night Football still to go. 2:15 Eastern time. Feels like we just left the war room last night.
We could sleep here and still have to work when we get up, right? So.
Oh, yeah, I'm in the middle of the night looking at all the updates.
Of course.
And the breaking news. A lot of the breaking news kind of confirms everything that we talked about yesterday. We'll recap it a little bit here. Where do we want to go first, Taylor? You want to recap stuff? You want to talk about Monday
Let's
Night
do the
Football?
new stuff first. I have a couple new ones, and then we'll go back to like the CeeDee Lamb stuff that we talked about yesterday. One was you didn't get the update, was the Mike Evans this morning. Bowles spoke this morning. He said, your favorite low grade, high grade, trying to meet in the middle of what's going on. Tell me your thoughts on the verbiage you saw today from Mike Evans.
Consistent, good news, low grade, which means anything but full tear and IR.
Yes.
But doesn't mean he's playing next week. I think he's not playing next week, and not playing for how many weeks remains to be determined. And that Tampa continues to be injured, although they're 3-0. So
they're going against our 6 scores, right? Because they've been pretty low the last 3 weeks. But yeah, maybe it'll catch up to them.
Yeah, but then again, I know it wasn't this way towards the end of the game, but the Jets covered.
Right.
I mean, the 6 picks are going to what the line is, right?
Yep.
So they're not outright wins. They're going against the line. And the Jets were the healthier side, although it took them 3.5 or more quarters to get to the cover, so to speak.
I do want to mention something on Evans, though, Doc. I know in the past we've covered his soft tissue stuff. There is times where I believe you said he's not going to play, and he has played, but like more of a decoy. And I remember you brought up last podcast that he had like a 10-yard, 1-catch game or 2 yards and a touchdown, right? So do you think there's a chance he does play? But,
with Mike Evans, he's tough. He always wants to play.
Right.
But what I'm saying is if you have another option, you need to take it.
Okay.
If he plays, we'll take the under yards. I don't think he's playing.
Godwin coming back, do you think, or still another week?
Godwin and worse.
They're trying, right?
They're trying. They need help. Here's what happens. Return to play is multifactorial. Okay? I've said it before. I haven't said it this year. It is like in order to make a kick, you have to have the snap, the hold, and the kick. And I guess let me add a fourth one, the offensive line blocking. Okay. That is germane this week.
Yep.
So what I mean by that is the player, the team, the medical, and perhaps we'll add in extraneous circumstances. That's like the block. No, I'm just making that up now. And here's what I mean. Return to play. The player has to say, I feel like I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Medical has to give the thumbs up. It's safe to do it. And the team has to say, yes, we want you to do it. What's the team saying with JJ McCarthy? Look, we're good. What's the team going to say with JJ McCarthy and his mild high ankle this week? We're good. Kevin O'Connell's already said it. We talked about yesterday in the podcast already.
Right.
Carson Wentz played well. JJ, we're looking out for you. Take your time, right? If Carson Wentz all of a sudden got hurt in practice this week, they were nobody, they might say, JJ, what do you think? We'll change the packages for you and let you roll, right? So Kevin O'Connell says, we want to do right by JJ. And now I think Schefter said it's likely that he doesn't play until after
the bye,
the European tour.
Or even,
right? The 2 weeks in Europe. And then
Dublin, London is a bye, and then
play.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
That's what they're targeting, and that's fair. But that's the team sort of saying it. Do I think medical would let him play? I do believe they would. Do I think JJ would want to play? Probably. I've never called him soft.
So this is why you're saying hiding behind health, because it's one of the three.
Hiding behind health. They're using it to their advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying they're making up the injury. That's just the interpretation of. And let me tell you, if Carson Wentz stinks it up this week, it opens up the door some for JJ to come back early. But the fact that he played well, and if you throw in one stinker, it's still one good, one bad. I think he gets another.
You know what situation
chance.
reminds me a little bit? I remember last year, the Steelers. Remember when they had Fields and Wilson? This kind of like verbiage. I remember you talking about this. It was Fields. Remember he kept on winning the first couple of weeks when Wilson had his, like, he missed camp with his injuries and stuff. So it's like once Fields stopped winning, though, they were telling Russell it was still his team, right? So like the second that happened, it kind of seems like a little bit the same. You know?
And since we're down this path,
Right.
Marcus Mariota played well, and we said it yesterday, and Schefter, I think, said it this morning. It gives Washington a chance to be even more careful with Jaden Daniels.
Correct. Yep.
Jaden Daniels is the starter.
Mhm.
They're not protecting his play or ego. They're saying we're going somewhere this year. We're protecting him in the long run.
Okay.
It gives them a chance to protect him a little bit more based on Marcus Mariota's this week. Will he play? Will he won't play? We don't know yet. This is why I'm saying from an injury perspective, I believe he could. Will he? That's going to be a team decision. They may ride Marcus Mariota another week. I don't even know who they play this week.
I can get that for you. One thing I want to say, can I bring up Purdy while I find that? Because Purdy was a situation maybe the same way. Mac Jones had a good game last week, right? So they might let Jones play this week. Maybe Purdy could have. Now Purdy, with the Jones little issue injury, Purdy looks like he's playing this week, right? In our eyes.
Well, there was a rap sheet report of a preseason PCL injury that got worse on
that got re-aggravated or worse. Yes. Yeah.
That may be enough to tip the boat to put Brock Purdy in.
Okay.
Remember Brock Purdy, back foot, plant throw. They're not going to risk Brock Purdy, but if it's like close, this is where the return to play. Let's get back to that. Yes, I think Brock Purdy is more likely to play this week. He seemed close last week with the Mac Jones news. But let's get back to the original, what I said, return to play.
Right.
The team, the player, and medical. Medical has to say it's okay. The player has to say, I can do it. And the team has to say, let's go. Okay? As opposed to, let's wait another week. JJ McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, etc. One example of that, the team saying, let's go, Christian Darrisaw. The Vikings lost offensive linemen, including his backup.
Justin Skoll, yep.
Yeah, and they said, can you do it, Christian? Let's make it this week. And he did. He didn't look that good.
They had a blowout. Yeah.
They blew him out. But Darrisaw didn't look that good.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. Would they have told Darrisaw another week if Skoll was okay? Maybe, right? So this is the decision-making that I used to have a voice in. Now, I didn't make the final decisions, but would weigh in as to what percent they are, and then the team would make that decision. The team would never play a guy that I didn't clear to play. But if I say he's okay, but he's not 100%, he's 85, the team then chimes in with what the decision is. And so it's got to be a three-way decision. Now, the original question we were having, I don't even remember
because I have two huge breaking. I got two huge breaking news stuff for you right now while you're talking. So, first off, I'm going to go Bosa, even though I want to do CD first. Bosa, torn ACL.
Oh,
yes. Other side, he had an ACL tear on the other side a couple years ago.
That obviously is the worst. We only had one video. Yep. I'll be the first one to say I did not see it as an ACL for sure. That doesn't mean it couldn't be. Shanahan's very forthcoming. This is horrible news. I would rather quote say I didn't see the definite ACL and miss it than suppose and jump on the non-contact train and then be wrong. I'm not trying. I'm hoping for the best. Right. I don't want there to be an ACL. And quite honestly, DeJuan Jones is probably an ACL too, that hyperextension injury. The Browns right tackle yesterday, original left tackle.
Yeah.
So huge news. That is a huge news for the 49ers.
I have a thought on this. So last night, it looked like they were leaning towards, it looked like it was intact, the preliminary test. What changed from last night to this morning from
MRI.
Medical? MRI. Okay, I know it's an easy answer.
Now,
but
but usually, like I said, we never went off the field or left the locker room without knowing for sure.
Right.
The media would always say, and the word to the media is, MRI pending, we don't know, but internally we knew. And the 49ers may have known where it was heading, but they didn't want to believe it yet. Or
he did the thumbs down on the field too. Maybe he knew because what the ACL tear felt like because he's done it before, but we can't judge. We never judge the reactions on the field when we do this kind of stuff.
We did talk about higher chance of tearing the other side.
Yes, we did.
But that's really bad news. I'm sorry to hear
yes.
that, Nick Bosa.
Next one is CeeDee Lamb. It just goes against a little bit. This is they're saying a high ankle sprain, but the thing that they mentioned, Schefter, that is unlikely to play Sunday night versus the Packers, according to sources. The Cowboys want to see how Lamb is doing for the next 10 to 14 days before making further determinations about his status. Your thoughts on that?
That's kind of where we are. We said it was a high ankle variant, more medial deltoid sprain than the syndesmotic ligament. High ankle, close enough. It's not surgical. The question is, and he taped it and tried to play and couldn't go. He's not playing this week. If you have to ask me, he's probably not playing next week. The hope is he can avoid IR, right? And that's kind of what Schefter is hinting at. The hope is he can avoid IR, but he's not playing this week against the Packers. It'd be great news if he could play next week. The following week, it's not guaranteed, but that's kind of where we're at.
I have a quick Twitter question.
You have more breaking news? I heard the sports.
Yeah, it was just more Bosa and stuff. They're free. It's a big Bosa notification. I have notifications from like 4 things, so they're all usually sometimes the same injury. I want to talk about two real quick, Doc. Harris and Connor. I know they're ruled out, but just tell me your thoughts, just what you saw real quick, just a review on those 2 injuries.
So this is a really bad week for injuries. We really get down to it here, right? Between
week 3,
Najee Harris season Achilles surgery, that's been confirmed now. Did it have to do with his off season?
They're saying same knee for Bosa, by the way. So just maybe we'll change that up a little bit. But yeah, second ACL tear in the same knee for Bosa. According to Pelissaro, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll look at that.
We'll double check. Yeah.
Well, when the all 22 comes out, we'll have better video, right? Right now.
They said there was a graft in the knee that was holding the knee together, and they needed further tests to see the extent of the damage. Does that sound like a normal case, or is that just something that they're verbiage from a media?
How long ago was his ACL?
2020.
That should be incorporated.
Okay.
I mean,
because I remember that year actually, Doc. Week 3, that 2020 year, Doc. We had 7 ACL tears that week. It was a pretty crazy week for us.
The Giant Stadium controversy.
Yes, the Giant Stadium. There was Mike Williams tore his ACL. There was multiple injuries that week. But yeah, go on. Yeah, 2020. You're saying it should be incorporated.
ACL. The grafts have to become alive, otherwise they fail. They break. The ACL is a live tissue, so it starts as dead tissue.
Okay.
Your own dead tissue or cadaver dead tissue that's transplanted, and then it grows and incorporates, right? And is destined to fail. So we'll go back and look at that video. Look, it was on one pass rush. We didn't see a lot, like I said.
Right.
But we'll look at the all 22. I guess it really doesn't matter in the sense that ACL tear means his season is over, and that is too bad there.
I had a question from Twitter real quick, Doc. This is more like maybe a coach speak index question, but it was like, which NFL team do you, in your experience, most hush or disclose the least when regarding to injuries? Is a question from Twitter.
Okay. Disclose the least historically has been New England Patriots, Bill Belichick. Well, let me modify that. They put
14
every player
questionable.
As questionable.
LP too.
And most teams, when it's minor, don't do that. Okay. But I will say this. We don't catch Bill Belichick or New England in any lie about talking about coach speak, other than the injury report, which is still honest. It's just every hangnail's put on there, and then it becomes a game of hide the bacon. But Belichick would never say anything about injuries, so you can't accuse him of lying. I guess only the injury report manipulation. If you want to say injury report manipulation,
that's
Belichick
true.
did it a lot.
Yes.
You're saying lying from the podium. Belichick never lied from the podium. He never said anything from the podium.
What was Ron Rivera's trick? Tell me after the post game, so I can't lie. That's a good trick, right?
He didn't say, so I can't lie.
Yeah,
I just said
so I don't know.
Ron,
yeah.
You don't like lying. Nope.
Yeah.
I said, and you get up to the podium before you talk to your doctors or trainers. He said, yep. Okay.
Protects them. It's a good idea. Yeah.
And he doesn't lie.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to lie. Kyle Shanahan has been among the more forthcoming. Now, again, he gets a lot of grief because of CMC last year and whatever. He's been among the more forthcoming. Pete Carroll, we've talked about Pollyanna. He's always on the good side of things, consistent. The guy who is among the trickier, and I say this as praise, among the trickier, is John Harbaugh.
He's crafty, as you'd say.
There are times that John Harbaugh tells you everything. And there are times that he misleads you intentionally. For
like the Lamar Jackson saga with his bone bruise. Yeah.
Which makes it inconsistent. And we have to read between the lines.
Right.
So he's not consistently Pete Carroll Pollyanna. He's not consistently negative Nancy. Sometimes he tells you a lot.
Right.
And it's all true. And sometimes he tells you enough that it isn't true. He's not consistent. Look, if a poker player bluffs every time, you have a tell. If a poker player never bluffs, you have a tell.
Yep.
John Harbaugh's a good poker player. He plays the coach speak game the right way. And I say that as a compliment, not a negative. It makes our job harder. You got to get the read on him in the situation. But yeah, so answer that question. Is this a good time to talk about Madubuike?
Talk about him right now. Yes, we're leading into less.
We're
gonna keep going. Yeah, we can talk Monday Night Football though. So big injury is Justin Madubuike or Nnamdi Madubuike.
Breaking news.
I don't have anything.
Okay, so
one thing I want to mention about the Niners though. Niners have played this season without Purdy, Kittle, Jennings, Ayuk, and now Bosa. That's pretty significant. But yeah, go on. Sorry, Monday Night Football.
Headed for another year of injuries.
Yep.
Najee Harris out for the season. We talked about that.
And you talked about James Conner real quick.
James Conner. Ankle fracture dislocation, ligaments and fracture surgery, season over.
You saw how much he's beloved over there, right? We saw the circle of players.
Both teams. I mean, that looked like a college game. Like I said, there were a lot of people.
Remember, he's the cancer survivor and stuff too. So he's got a huge, following.
He's a good dude.
Yes,
and I feel bad for him. And that is one where you obviously don't judge the reaction, but that reaction was pretty telling. Yeah. His foot caught underneath. We couldn't give you the exact direction. I think it's an external rotation injury, fibula fracture higher with ankle dislocation and ligament. In any case, surgery and done for the season. All right, Monday Night Football. That John Harbaugh will lead in Monday Night Football.
Real quick for promotion, Doc. Sick picks. Go to sickscore.com. We have a big play on the game tonight. Free week of unlimited access. Six picks. Use promo code podcast. Sick picks are winning at 56.5% over the last 6 years, and we're up 10 plus units this year, Doc.
Great.
Madubuike.
Mysterious neck issue. Some rain clouds by media reports.
It's like Eeyore. Dark cloud over him. Yeah.
Why'd you say Eeyore, by the way?
I don't know. I have kids at home. I'm watching Winnie the Poohs and stuff.
Maybe you had a spy because some of you know I went to Disneyland California Adventure on Friday.
Well, I don't need a spy. You post pictures on Twitter. Yeah.
My daughter, 8-year-old, let her pick out a stuffy, and she picked Eeyore.
Really?
And later on that night, she told Mom she picked Eeyore because it reminds me of Dad. Should I be happy with that?
I don't like that.
Or negative about
I associate Eeyore to depression, so I was like, I don't like that. But maybe I don't know why would it? Because he never smiles. Maybe you don't smile enough, Doc. I don't know.
I mean, on the one hand, I'm thrilled. My daughter wanted a stuffy that reminded her of me, but on the other hand, Eeyore.
Your scrubs have the little Eeyore color. I can kind of see like dark blue. But
you're trying to.
I'm trying to help you out.
I mean, I guess is it worse or better if she would have picked Winnie the Pooh and I reminded her like happy-go-lucky, but chunky Winnie the Pooh, or is it Eeyore better? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Disney character would have been.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to look up. Yeah, what's your equivalent of a Disney character for you, Doc?
I don't know either. But suffice to say, that's when you said Eeyore, I was like, oh gosh. PTSD.
Well, so that's what Eeyore has. So you gotta be careful.
Sorry. Okay, back to the
Go
game.
on, Madubuike,
Nnamdi, formerly Justin Madubuike. I hope I'm saying that right.
I'm trying here, Doc.
Neck issue without clear video out of the blue. Statistically, this is a disc issue. This is a out of the blue herniated disc issue. This is why they're trying to sort it out. He easily could go on IR. Worst case scenario, he easily could have surgery and a 3-month return timeline, which would what? Put him back in time for late season playoffs. I think that's what they're deciding right now. He's not playing this week or tonight. The question is, how long? Are they cutting losses and fixing it and saying we're going to have our nose tackle run stuffer for the late season and playoffs? Or are they going to ride this out with some potential not being sure how long they'll have him?
Because he's vital, Doc. Just doing our numbers, like taking him out of the game, it cost them almost 2.5, 3 points. Like he's a big, just for a defense player to be that important is huge.
Big, but
yeah.
But I guarantee you, if this were week 16, he would be Medrol dose back, epidural, cervical epidurals, this, that, the other, rest, and let's see what happens.
I'll say a neck is like injection or something. That's how you get through that. Yeah.
Because it's this early and you can return, believe it or not, in 3 months, do they roll the dice on that? And just say, do they roll the dice and keep them going, or do they shut them down? I think that's the question internally they're trying to solve them.
Does it depend on if the kind of team you are? If you're like the Panthers or you're the Ravens? Like Ravens, you're a winner to go home.
It depends on a lot of things.
Okay.
Ultimately, it depends on what Madubuike wants to do. Because if he wants to have surgery, he can have it.
Okay.
If he says, I'm not having surgery, you can't force him to have it.
Right.
But a lot of it does depend on the team. For example, if you're with an 0-3 team, maybe you say, let's just get right. If you're with a 3-0 team, maybe you say, let's just get right so I can come back.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I always say. We don't treat injuries the same way. The same player, the exact same injury, week 1 versus week 16 can be treated differently.
Well, the turf toes of Burrow and Purdy, you said they were way different, right?
Well, that's a different injury in and of itself.
Yeah.
That's almost different.
Or degrees, or
That's almost different. I mean, it's a different injury in terms of different severity. I'm saying the exact same severity injury can be different. For example, if Xavier Worthy dislocated his shoulder in the AFC Championship game, well, maybe the AFC that's not right because you try and come back for a Super Bowl. But if he dislocates his shoulder in week 16 or 15 and the Chiefs are out of the playoffs, he's just going to get that shoulder fixed.
He's out for the season.
Instead, he's trying to come back.
Right.
Tyrone Tracy yesterday, dislocated shoulder. I was saying there might have been a chip fracture as well. If he feels like the Giants are going nowhere, yes, they're 0-3, maybe he decides to have surgery instead of return with a harness, especially if there is a chip fracture.
What if you have like a job, like a job you're scared of losing? Like Tracy was very close to maybe sharing time with Scatabo. Do you, in theory, as a player, rush a surgery, or are you still thinking about your health first more than your place?
Many things factor in. What year are you in the contract? What's
Right.
your situation? What's your relationship? How are you personally wired in terms of what you want to do? So there's so many things that factor into this. Scatabo is great. I don't see them as the same back at all.
He's a pass catching back, like a scat backs Eckler,
different type of
Tracy's
running back.
Between the tackles runner. Yeah, I agree.
Different type of running back,
for sure.
Different speed profile, different makeup, different
everything. Yeah.
They can coexist on the same team.
Okay.
I don't see one taking the other's job, but I'm just a doctor.
One last one I want to talk about this Monday night game before we wrap up. Tell me your thoughts. We're going to look a bit more video, but we saw Jimmy, one of our friendlies, Jimmy Lau, posted a video about Marcus Davenport. He switched on the injury report from shoulder to chest. Tell me why you agree with his thought. Maybe that it
looks like a pec tear.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's going to go the way of Kalijah Cansey.
Yes, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense end. Yeah,
pec tear surgery. Try and come back late season.
He's such a good player. I feel like every single year it's a season that I go by. He has at least 3 to 4. Even with the Saints couple. So yeah,
that's what his video is consistent with, and it would make sense. They said shoulder. Now they're finding his chest. Pec is a little bit in between chest, shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it as being a chest traumatic injury based on the play he got hurt. It is a likely pec tear. Is it a pec muscle versus tendon? Pec tendon means surgery. Could be. I can't tell that off a video. Let's hope it's pec muscle and he can avoid surgery and just miss a few weeks. But it's pec is what it looks like based on video.
All right, Doc. I just have one more. I know it's not a big deal, but Darren Waller is expected to be on a situational snap count. First came out of retirement, but fantasy players might have dropped him already. But yeah, that's the last update I have today. Okay, Doc, for today so far.
Yeah, well, we'll see when he gets out there. Obviously, when you're retired, the game of football is hard. It's a big ramp up, and I think it got to a point where they were telling Darren Waller, if you don't get out there, we're going to just call it.
Make the retirement fish
you know,
longer. Yeah.
So, you know, so he's like, okay, let me try it a little bit.
Okay.
Situationally, we'll see what he can do there. Miami had a nice effort in Buffalo. Didn't get it done, but at least
they covered, I guess, that big spread on Thursday.
At least they showed some effort, and they certainly helped us with the overplay that we had there, which based on the defenses not being 100% healthy. But looking forward to a big game tonight, Baltimore and Detroit. Like you said, there is a clear numbers play there, and go to Sick Picks for all of that. Thanks for listening and watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the season in this format here.
And just to remind people, Doc, they can rewind and look at any of the players that we talked about earlier, Bosa, Lamb, Evans, etc. Okay, thank you so much.
And I also hope you're enjoying the halftimes. I'm trying to make the halftimes a little more formal. On Sundays, we're from the War Room with Steve Fezzik. 10, 3, and 1 so far.
Correct.
The halftime plays,
Yep.
Suggestions at, and that's appointment viewing at 11:30/2:30 for the first game. Appointment, boom, at 11:30.
Right at 11:30. Yep.
And the second one is 2:30/5:30, and we're gonna maybe push it back based on at least one game going to halftime.
How they're playing.
You know, this week we went at 2:30 sharp, and all 4 teams are still playing. So next time we're gonna at least go to one team hits half, and then we'll hit the majority of them at half, and we'll go in order.
We want you to focus on us, Doc, right? not the exciting games.
No, we want you to focus on the games. We're trying to fill the gaps in between the games. And obviously when one game goes to half, then it gives us some potential actionable and getting some real numbers.
Absolutely.
So check that out. I think that's picking up some steam, that concept there. All right. Thanks for listening and watching.